In this module, we'll learn about distractions which can affect our ability to drive safely.
Good evening, all. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, very good evening. So my voice is listening. I mean, audible. Sorry. So a very happy New Year to you, to everyone in the group,
Same to you.
and whoever is attending the session. Yes. And so let's start the session. One second. Okay. So is the slide visible? PPT is visible?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good. Let me maximize the screen. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we are in the third session of managerial economics. So this session we are going to see in detail about the demand, all about demand from the customer, demand from the market, and how an organization tries to uh, satisfy the demand of the market or satisfy the demand from the customer side. And what are all the measures they carry or what are the measures they take to forecast the demand and after forecasting how that forecasting result help in decision making process and based on those decision makings what would be the result of those decision makings and how it makes the organization to um, sustain in the market or sustain in the industry for a longer period. So let's start. Okay, so there is something called demand theory. The demand theory is nothing but there is a three C's proposed by various scholars. It is like as the price of a product increases, as the demand increases, the price of the product increases, and as the price of the product increases, the sale of the product automatically it decreases. This may sound different because no, like since there is a demand, there is an increase in the production of the product. Since there is an increase in the production of the product, the companies are raising the basic price of the product to see the profits, to make the profits in the season time before the season gets over. And this is something no, which is not expected from the market side or which is not expected from the customer side. So if the customer, so consider no like an individual customer like me and you. So if we see that no like a price of a product has increased from its basic price after some time, say for example after a week's time or after a month's time. So we stop buying that product or we stop recommending the product no, to our friends or family or to our neighbors. So slowly there would be a declination in the sale of the product. So as the price increases, the demand of the product or the sale of the product decreases. Same applies with the service of the companies as well. So as the service of the company or a production, or a organization increases, the cost of the service increases. The demand for that particular service, no, it decreases. People stop or minimize utilizing the service, or people stop using the services anymore from the company. So they go in search of related products or related services which are provided by the other companies in the industry. That is, the competing companies in the industry. So people always look for a fair price which they are comfortable with. So they don't see most of the customers, they don't see about the brand or they don't see about the company or the goodwill of the company or whatever it is, how long the company is in the industry stream, they don't look about it. So all most of the customers, almost 65 to 70% of the customers in the market, they just look for the product, how the product, whether the cost of the product, they can know like accommodate the cost, whether the quality of the product is okay for them. If they buy the product in that particular price, the billing price, they are no like ready to buy, the price they are not willing to buy if it is okay for them, they buy the product, no, irrespective of whichever company has produced the product. So this is the customers, no, like mindset, like all over the world. It's not only especially, no, like in particular country, but all over the this is a mindset. There are few customers which actually looks for quality. Quality in the sense they actually look for a branded ones. That is, they believe that if this product is from this particular company, it means a good quality. That's why, like few customers they stick on buying to only Apple products, or few customers they stick on buying products, placing orders online only from Amazon.com. But if you compare that price difference, like one of a particular product with Amazon and with Flipkart, you can see there is a lot of price difference. The company may be the same, the product, the product, the manufacturer of the product, may be the same. The vendor may be the same. But if you see the price, that would be a difference. Or if you see the transportation cost, that would be a difference. But still, few customers they stick on to placing orders in Amazon only because they stick on to that particular thing. And there are few other customers who has of like this sentimental value. So somewhere they are sentimentally attached to a company or sentimentally attached to a product. So, though new innovations or new technologies have come into the market, or though new companies are coming to the market with new um, updated versions of the older products, those persons or those customers, who still has such sentimental value, they still stick on to the old habit of buying the product from the same old company. So they won't change at all. For example, say few elders they stick on to getting service from one experienced old doctor in nearby neighborhood. So even though multi-specialty hospitals have come, like they don't usually go there for, or so they are sentimentally attached to that kind of service given by the that same old doctor, which are like who was servicing the neighborhood for a longer period, for 30 years, 40 years. He may be having a clinic nearby. So these people, they stick on to the same service, same doctor. So this is the kind of like sentimental analysis which you can identify in few of the customers. Same applies to the product as well. So customers they buy products only from the same company, which is running for a longer period of time. So this is demand theory. So demand is something as the price increases, the demand for the product decreases. As the price decreases, the demand for the product, the buying pattern is decreases. And for any product, if you see after the maturity time, the product life cycle, after the maturity time, that will be a declination in the product life cycle. So automatically the product decline. So there would be the slow movement of products in the market. So to avoid this, organizations, production units and companies, they come up with different that they develop new enhancements in the product to avoid the declination. So here are few concepts. First one is law of demand. That is what we have seen. So price of the good or service increases, quantity demanded increases, decreases, and vice versa. Price of a good or price of a product or price of a service increases. The demand, the quantity demanded for the product, it automatically decreases. Okay. So there is a law of demand. So price elasticity. So what is elasticity? So you can identify elasticity if there is a lot of difference between the price increase and the demand decrease. So if there is very less difference between price increase and the quantity or the product decrease, if there is less difference, then you can say there is in the pattern is inelastic. Inelastic. So elasticity is something where there is lot of difference between, that is there is a huge difference between the price of the product and the demand for that product. So as the price increases, demand for the product drastically decreases. So there is a huge difference in the graph. So that is elasticity and vice versa. So if the price of the product increases, but if there is no decrease in the demand of the product, or if you identify very much less decrease in the demand, then you can say it is inelastic. Or if there is no change at all, we can say it is completely inelastic. And this is a formula for elasticity of demand. Percentage change in demand by percentage change in price. Income and cross price elasticity. So income elasticity is something. So previously we have seen price elasticity. So here price is the variable. So price increases, demand decreases. Price decreases, demand increases. Quantity demanded is increased. Here, income elasticity. Income elasticity is where if an individual's income increases, the buying pattern or the buying behavior increases. So if the income decreases, the buying behavior decreases. We can see that before 20 years, maybe, 15, 20 years before, when IT industry was in a boom. So, it was booming. So we can see even even middle class or lower middle class youngsters, who have completed their IT courses or engineering or computer courses, they were getting opportunities, like in big IT industries. So it was a boom, and they were getting good salaries as well. No, the salaries were much good. That it was much better than the salary which their dads or their fathers were getting when they joined their organization. So, as the income of a particular family or a particular individual or a group of individual increased, the buying pattern, the buying behavior also increased. So people started investing more. They started buying more, TVs and much bigger sized TVs. They started buying cars, vehicles, new vehicles. They started investing in buying homes and buying land. They started investing more. So this is income elasticity. As the income of a person, individual or group of people increases, so their buying behavior increases. As the income decreases, buying behavior decreases. So when income will decrease, if a individual or group of individuals, if their income decreases, for example, there is a bulk layoff in a company, or like say pandemic, during pandemic time, like many have lost their jobs. So in those days, many companies, like they have lost their businesses because no one was buying the product. So this is no this is the this is what happens in income elasticity. Cross price elasticity is something, like cross price is when you buy a product, additionally you have to buy another product. For example, like if you buy a laptop, additionally you need a charger, a laptop charger. So you cannot buy a laptop charger alone. I mean, not as a separate fee. I mean, not as a separate what do you say, a separate thing. So since you have got a laptop, you need to have a laptop charger. So this is a cross price elasticity. And demand curves. Demand curves is now usually represented in a graphical format. So any demand, if you take, whether it's a seasonal demand or a cyclical demand, a trend demand, or whether it's a product life cycle, you can see everything is represented as a demand curve. So we will be seeing that what is seasonal demand, what is cyclical demand. Determinants of demand. So which factors determines the demand? There are various factors: individuals' income, individuals' buying patterns, individuals' mindset, the demography, and uh, what do you say, the lifestyle of an individual and the company organization, their objectives, their marketing trends, and the products they come up with, the technology they use, their marketing campaigns, and everything plays an important, all these factors play an important role in determining the demand for a product. So that is what is mentioned here. And forecasting demand. So why forecasting is done is it helps the management in for like any management in the organization, whether it's a top management or middle or worker management. So it helps the management of an organization for decision making. So decision making in procurement, decision making in production, decision making in transportation, warehousing, decision making in increasing the manpower or laying off the manpower, and decision making in holding the inventory or selling off the inventory, decision making in enhancing the product or going on with the same old product. So every decision making is based on the demand forecasting. So what does the market demand in future? What does it demand? What does the customer know? What customers will know? Like what will be their like demand in future? So if it is a demand, it obviously know it is in future. It's not in past or it's not in present. So obviously it's in future. So based on that demand, the organizations will make decisions on all these factors. Next is price discrimination. So no companies purposefully discriminate the price for one product. So it doesn't mean that no, particularly for say this group of people the price is high and this group of people the price is low. Not like that, but taking the factors of transportation or whether the product is an imported product or an export quality product, there will be a difference in price. For example, few products which is manufactured in Kerala. So those products, if you buy in Kerala, the price is no very nominal price. But if you buy the same branded products which is manufactured in Kerala, if you buy that in nearby states in Karnataka or Andhra Pradesh or Tamil Nadu, you can see the price difference. That it would be at least no 5 to 10 rupees high over there. Same applies with other products as well, which is manufactured in other states. Same applies with other countries. So this type of price discrimination you can see. But price is not discriminated based on ethnicity or religion, not in those factors. But the factors would be on transportation. Transportation will be a major role in discriminating the price, and whether the product is an of import or export quality. So that also decides whether the price has to be increased or decreased. Okay. So this is how like demand elasticity of a demand will be calculated. So these things like these factors will be given P1, P2, that is price 1, price 2, quantity 1, quantity 2. So this would be like given in case if it is asked in your question, I mean in your university question. So these factors will be given. So you have to remember this formula. So apply all these the values accordingly, and you can calculate the elasticity of a demand. So have this like as a okay, seasonal or cyclic. So when can you say whether demand is seasonal or whether it is cyclic? Seasonal demand is something like that depends on the trend sometimes, like so for every season, the demand pattern, if you see, it would be like more or less the same. You will not be seeing much difference at all. The seasonal demand. So every year, say for every year for Christmas and New Year, if you see, the seasonal demand would be like more or less the same. Maybe there may be a slight increase in every year because the population increases. As the population increases, the buying also increases a little, no, like a little, no, like there would be a little percentage of increase in demand. That is the only difference you can see, but you will not be seeing much difference in the product demanded. So this is seasonal. Cyclical demand is something every week or every month, no, that would be a cyclical demand. And sometimes, no, suddenly if there is a trend in the market, suddenly something, no, like it's very fashionable coming in the market, that may completely change the demand of the product. So you may be seeing there is a cyclical demand of a product. There is constant cyclical demand. But suddenly, if you see, no, like you may notice there is a no, like a peak or no, like a trough in the cyclical demand. It means there is a trend happening in the market for a particular product. So there is a sudden peak of sales or peak of no, like demand, product demanded for that. For that particular product, or suddenly there may be a throw. Throw means no, that there is no demand or very low demand for a product. So this happens. So when there is a trend happening in the market, so that also affects the demand pattern. So seasonal demands, no, there will not be much difference, as I said, but constantly there will be a little percentage of increase in every year. As the population increases, demand also for a product also increases. Cyclic demand is something, no, that is more variable when no, like trend is happening in the market. So suddenly a new trend may be no, like coming out, new fashion may be no, like hitting the sky. So people will start buying, no, all will be no, like going and buying that particular thing. Like everybody will be liking to use the product or use the service. So this is no, like cyclical. Okay, so these are the few demand patterns. If you see, this is the seasonal demand and this is cyclical demand. Okay. So notice the seasonal demand. There is no much in the pattern. That is a constant. There is a constant curve. That's this constant curve. It goes on for each and every year. You can notice only a small slight difference. This is a trend demand pattern. Trend is something, no, that there is the demand of the product, no, the product demanded is very base for a particular period of time, and you can see there is a sudden increase in the demand of that particular product because suddenly it has become a trend in the market, trend in people's mind. Suddenly it has become a fashion in people's mind, and everybody, know, like everyone likes to use the product. So this is the trend pattern. Horizontal pattern is something like seasonal pattern. So you will not be seeing any much difference in the demand for a particular item or a product. Cyclical demand. So this represents the trend of the product. That is, you can see there is suddenly there is a peak and suddenly there is a trough. Trough is a place where there is very low demand or no demand at all, and peak is where there is a high demand for a product. So horizontal demand is a seasonal demand and trend demand is a cyclical demand. Okay, so now we are going to see about the characteristics of demand. Uh, average is a characteristic factor. So demand tends to cluster around a specific level. So within the specific level, if you take a graph within the specific level, you can see a cluster of the demand for a product. So trend. So if it is a trend for a particular product, it means demand constantly increases or decreases over time. Seasonality. Seasonality, you will not much notice, you will not be noticing any much difference. So that would be a normal pattern, no? Which follows, no, like the same pattern on a, what do you say, no, every yearly basis. Cyclicity, you can know, like recognize in, no, like the trend pattern. That is, cyclicity, it gradually increases and decreases. Business cycle and product life cycle influences the component of demand. Elasticity. Elasticity is the factor. So elasticity is price increases, demand for a product decreases. So price decreases, demand for a product increases. So this is elastic. So inelastic is a situation where even if the price increases, there is no decrease in the demand for a product. The demand is the same as before. It means it is completely inelastic. And willingness and ability to pay. So only if the customer is willing to buy the product and willing to pay the price for that particular product, it means there is a demand happening in the market. So if the customer is uh, the customer wants something to use, whether it's a product or whether it's a service, the customer wants to use the product but is not ready to pay for the product, not ready to pay for the price. It means you cannot, you cannot predict any demand, which is going to happen in the future. So price plays a very important role in demand forecasting. The customer should be ready to buy for that particular price which is fixed by the market or which is fixed by the company. So demand is always at a price. And demand is always per unit of time. So the demand pattern is identified, not only for yearly basis, but for it can be identified or it can be calculated for on a daily basis or a weekly basis, a month or yearly basis. So it depends on the company. So for example, an FMCG company, they can track the demand or they can forecast the demand, they can track the demand, whatever is happening has happened in the past or whatever is happening right now. I mean, the sales of the product, demand for the product, So that may be, on a
Excuse
daily
me, ma'am.
basis. Yeah.
Ma'am, can you hold the class for a while because the students are getting echo?
Okay. Is it okay now?
Please confirm, students, please. Is it okay now?
Yes, it is okay.
Okay, fine. Okay. So it depends on the type of organizations or type of industries which likes to check their demand patterns of their customers. So as I said, if it is an FMCG company, they will be checking their demand patterns on a daily basis, or other companies they will go on for a weekly basis or a monthly or an yearly basis. So this is how the demand pattern is made and so everything is made based on the forecasting done by the organization. So this forecasting is done by various techniques. So organizations usually follow various techniques. There is no hard and fast rule for following, a particular technique for demand forecasting. Because since it is helping in the decision making process, so each company has their own way of the demand forecasting, and they can combine more than one or two technologies if they would like to. So they don't have to stick on to one single technology, but they can combine two or three more technologies to go with the demand forecast. So let's see what are all the techniques or methods for demand forecasting. So there are qualitative methods and quantitative methods. So qualitative methods are otherwise called as survey methods, whereas quantitative methods are otherwise called as statistical methods. So you can understand if it is statistical methods, you need to have data. So qualitative methods, if it is survey methods, you don't need to have any past data collected with you. So all you can do is collect the data live from the market, live from the customer. So survey method, so no historical data or no other data is required for going on with qualitative method or qualitative techniques. But for conducting a quantitative technique, you need to have the historical data for a product. Say, consider if it is a new company, a new startup company, then there won't be having any historical data. That's a new company, so they won't be having any previous records of how the products has been, how many products has been sold or what was the demand pattern last time for their products. It's a new company, new product. So in those cases, they can completely go on with the qualitative method or the survey method. Maybe after 1 year, once they have sold their products first time in the market, then they can move on to the quantitative method for demand forecasting. So qualitative method you have four, as of now four, but we have 5 or 6 more models. So consumer survey model, opinion, Delphi technique, and nominal group technique. And for quantitative, we have trend projection, barometric, econometric, and other statistical metric. So if you combine all these quantitative method, you can classify all these four into two major groups. That is time series method and causal methods. Time series and causal methods. So we will let's see that. So first we will move on with the qualitative forecasting. So as I said, since it is qualitative, you don't have to collect any previous data. So no historical data is collected here because that is not required. So how it is done? So currently what is happening in the industry, or currently it is lively collected from the experts in the market or experts in the organization, or directly from the customers, or it is collected from the distribution agents like wholesalers, retailers, or brokerage agents, commission agents. So they can provide you the data has how the trend has happened or how the sales has happened for a particular product previously in the market, and what was the price for that product was sold for. So everything can be it can be got from the persons or the individuals or group of persons or any agents in the market or anyone from the company itself, within the organization itself. So there are four models in qualitative data. So informed, opinion, and judgment. So as the name suggests, so everything is opinion and judgment. So who gives this opinion and judgment? The experts within the organization and outside the organization. So within the organization, if you see all the experienced person like experienced managers, or who are already in the sales and marketing division, so they know what has happened previously in the company, or they know how the company has run for the past few years or for the past few months, or how was the sales pattern the previous year. So they know very well what has happened. Or otherwise, if it is from outside the organization, so where do these experts stay? I mean, where do these experts live? So from the market, we have marketing agents, market agents like wholesalers, distributors, retailers. So all these people available in the market. You cannot directly collect from them. The opinion and the judgment. So this is completely opinion based and judgmental based. Then consumer surveys. So this is directly collected from the consumers. How do you collect it from the consumers? Either you can go with the physical document. There is a printed format. You can ask the consumer to fill out the document, and you can ask them to submit. It's a conventional process. Now, no one has enough time or enough mindset to take a pen and fill the document. So you can go with new technologies. Use the new technologies like use WhatsApp, and use email services or use any like any social media services like Twitter or whatever it is, no, use it and no, send them the survey, ask them to know, fill it and no, like send it back to the company's email, or just ask them to know, like click the submit button. So once they click the submit button, give their survey, click the submit button, automatically the information is collected to the database of the organization. So this is how you can collect the consumer survey. Then Delphi method. So Delphi method is a age-old method, no, for getting an opinion or coming to arriving into a final decision. So usually in ancient, I think Greece or Rome, I don't remember. So experts like scholars, like in the where when Socrates and no Ptolemy, they were no like living. So in those days, usually the scholars of that particular region, they usually conduct meetings, no, once in a month or twice in a month. So when they meet each other, when they know like form a group and they discuss about what is happening in the city and what are the measures to be taken to improve the quality of the people, or what should be done to improve the betterment of the people. So they will come with different ideas and they will be like arriving with different solutions. But all these solutions, say if there are like at least 25 to 30 scholars will be having 30 different ideas and 30 different opinions. So they cannot take all these 30 different opinions and like go to the king and ask a suggestion, because king will be very busy. So what they do is they have to prioritize the first five or first three decisions. Only those prioritized three decisions will be taken to the king, taken to the king for final approval. So the king will select one from the three, or he may select all the three, and he will execute it for the betterment of the city or betterment of the people. So whatever it is. So how do they do this? So without mentioning their name, these scholars write their opinions and they will like vote it. That is like it's like casting a vote. And others know once all the votes are collected, each and every opinion is read out loud, and votes will be asked for that particular opinion. So in this way, the topmost opinion is taken into consideration, which has gained more votes. So this is how the top three opinion is like taken, and that top three opinion is like taken it will be like given to the king for final approval, and the king approves the one among that top three opinions, or he may approve all the three opinions, or all the three suggestions. So this is Delphi method. The place where they met, that's the place is called Delphi. So that's why the name, that's how this method got its name. So same technique is being followed by like organizations. So all the experts or like the main players of each and every department, or from top management, middle management, and the worker management, say they come up and have a meeting, and they will like give their opinion or a particular problem or a particular event or whatever it is. So everything will be collected, and the unique point here is they will not be mentioning their name or their which department they are from. So only their opinion will be mentioned there. So these opinions are collected, and after that, each and every opinion is read out, and votes will be like asked from all the employees in the organization for that particular opinion. So whichever has got the highest votes, so that would be taken as the final solution, and that would be executed. So this is Delphi method. And finally, market research. Market research is directly getting into the market, asking the sales department or the marketing department executives to get into the market, speak with the distribution agents, speak with the, these retailers, wholesalers, or brokerage commissions and agents, speak with them directly and collect the information. So this is how qualitative forecasting is done. That is directly dealing with the customers or directly dealing with the individuals who has no like good experience in the industry, inside the organization, within the organization and outside the organization, even getting expert opinion from the stakeholders as well. And then based on those data which is collected directly from them, based on those data, the decision is made. Now, moving on to quantitative forecasting. So quantitative forecasting, no, we have main two classifications. We will see. Okay, time series methods and causal methods. So these are the main two classifications. We will see one on one. So quantitative forecasting is the other name for quantitative forecasting is like data collection forecasting. Uh, Here you need to have data. That is the historical data, past records you need to have. So whatever has happened in the past. So forecasting is done, which is based on the past day events and focuses the future events. That is based on the past events, it focuses the future events. So that this is what demand forecasting is. So the past events are collected and past records, historical data is collected, not only from the organization, but also from outside the organization. So how you will collect the past data from outside the organization, the old printed newspapers or economic magazines or whatever it is, the government publications and many journals are available, no, like which is related to the uh, economics, economics factors, no, which has happened in the country so far or which has happened in the world so far. So collect all those data, that is collect all the historical data. And based on the historical data, if you get the present data, it is too good. So collect the historical data, use the present data as well. That is the live data. And based on the data, do some calculations. Calculations part is no like it has already been no like defined. So do some calculations. You will be getting a result. Submit the result to the top management. So based on those results, so the results will be always having an option. More than one option they will be having, no, like no more than one result they will be always having an option. So let the top management decide what option they have to go with. And here you have to be no clear that not only the top management is no like responsible for taking decision, but nowadays even the worker level is also no like they are also responsible for taking decision. They can even suggest the top management that this decision would be a good decision if it is regarding their work zone, like installing new machines, buying new machineries, or taking more workers for no like for production or laying off few workers who are not performing good for the past season and increasing the working hours or minimize the working hours and pay per hour, everything. If it is the decisions regarding these matters, even the working level management guys, they can also give suggestion to the top management, and if it is acceptable, the top management can accept. So time series methods and causal methods. So first let's look on the time series methods. So time series methods is based on the time. So whatever has happened, no, the last week, whatever has happened in the last month, or whatever has happened in the last year. So the same will be repeated in the next month or present month, or same will be repeated in the coming week or next week, or no like after 2 weeks or next year or this current year. This is time series methods. That is, there will not be much change. The same will be repeated. The pattern will be no like repeated in the same manner, just like what has happened in the previous year or previous month or previous week. This is time series. So latest period method is something no which has happened very recently, say yesterday. So yesterday the stores sales was this much. So today also we are expecting the same. Or last Saturday the sales was like this much, so this Saturday also we are expecting the same. Or last Sunday, like this particular product, this many quantity has moved out, and this Sunday also we are expecting the same product, so this many quantity will be moving out. So there is not much difference. Maybe one or few percentage, maybe like hardly 5 to 10% fluctuations you may find, but not more than that. Maybe instead of like last week it was 50 products has moved out. This week it may be 55 or it may be just 45. So this is the only fluctuation you can see, but not too much. So this is the latest period method. That is which has happened very recently, latest. Then is simple moving average. This is something where which has happened last month. So latest period is which has happened very recently, that is last day, previous day, or previous week, or 2 weeks before. But simple moving average is previous months, last 2-3 months, or last month. It's a simple moving average. So how the average is calculated? The previous 3 months or 4 months sales is not taken as the data. Average is calculated. So that average is not taken as a result for this month's sales. For example, I'm taking the average of like past 3 months sales of a particular product. So the average I'm getting is like 22. So I am taking that. So for this month, the sale of that particular product is 22 units. Because last month the sales was 20. The previous month the sales was 21, 22, and the previous month the sales was 24. So I'm taking the average, it comes to 22. So I'm taking, okay, so this month the sales would be 22. Okay, and this simple moving average will not work when there is a trend pattern happening, which has happened in the previous month. So trend pattern. So trend pattern is something where there is a sudden fluctuation in the demand for a product. So when there is a sudden fluctuation, this pattern won't work. That particular month I will not be taking into consideration. For example, last month was December. So December you have Christmas and New Year coming up. So that would be, the sales would be very high. No one can expect like how much sales would have been like happened. So December sales I will not be taking into consideration for calculating the average method, because that is different, because that is a trend, that is a season. There was a event which has happened last month. So that thing I cannot take into consideration for calculating this month's sales. So December month sales, I would be completely avoiding. So which I will be taking is November, October, and September. Yeah, November, October, and September. So this is how it is done. So simple moving average. So we are taking the recent past 2 to 3 months or 4 months or past month. The simple moving average. Yes, here is an example. See. Okay, they have taken last 4 months average. So last 4 months, September, October, November, and December. So divided by 4, that is no number of months. So 125.25 rounded off to 125. So 125 would be the average sales for the month of January. So this is how it is calculated. So weighted moving average is something where, again, as I said, the seasonality or the sudden trend that will not be taken into consideration. So in that case, I will be completely avoiding the month where the trend has happened. So completely avoiding the month, I'll be taking the other months where the trend has not happened, and I'll be calculating the present month or the next month's average sales. So next is causal method. So causal method is something, like something has happened, and what is the effect of that cause? So something has happened in the say market, or something has happened in the industry, or something has happened within the organization. So what is the effect of that cause? So what has caused that event, and what is the effect of that event? So this is the causal method. So to be to make it simple, say the company for which I am working with is merging with another company for betterment. For betterment, or the other company's CEO, the investor is ready to invest in my company as well. So my company is going to grow big in terms of profit, or in terms of the capacity, in terms of the size, in terms of workers, in terms of number of employees, in terms of departments, in terms of everything. My company is going to become big. So this has created an effect in the sales of the product. So now everyone is speculating this. Okay, fine. So these two companies are going to merge. So we can buy this company's product. So this is causal method. So usually you can notice this in share markets. If you see, Adani is going to buy another, a normal company, so people will start buying shares of that normal company, because they very well know if that particular company, is being bought by Adani, it means the profit is going to increase for that company. Adani will take care of that company. So obviously the share value will increase for that company. So they will buy shares of that company. So this is causal method. So something has caused an event within the organization or outside the organization. And because of that event, the effect of the demand for the product, that has changed. Either it has increased or decreased. Or if if it is a merger, then it is fine. Or if my organization is being acquired by another giant company, like my organization is in going what do you say, it is going out. So that is my organization is being acquired by a big giant company. So my organization is going to lose its original identity. So in this case, what happens is my loyal customers, my organization's loyal customers will be withdrawing from my company. So there, the demand for the product and the service of my company decreases. So this is causal method. Yeah. So is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you have any doubts as of now? So all we have seen today is the demand theory, the complete, in detail about the demand theory. So what is the demand theory? Why demand theory is important in managerial economics? Because it helps the managers in decision making process, in all the decision making process. So how to deal with the demand? So what causes the demand, and why people are why we should forecast the demand, what are all the demand techniques, forecasting techniques, and how to go with those techniques, and based on the results published, how it helps the organizations to take decisions. Yeah. So today's session, I think we can wind up. Yeah. If you have doubts, you can stay, or else you can leave. We will meet next session.